Arjun was a man with a very big brain, but a very small voice. He lived in a huge, noisy city called London. He worked in a tall building made of glass and steel. Every morning he sat at his desk and looked at his computer screen. Arjun was a computer programmer, and he was the best in his office. He could solve any problem with code and numbers. But Arjun had a secret that made him feel very sad. He was terrified to speak English to his coworkers. He came from a different country, where he was a great speaker. In his home language, he was funny, smart, and very fast. But in English, his tongue felt like a heavy stone. He worried that people would think he was not smart. He was afraid of making mistakes with in, at, and on. He was afraid that his accent sounded strange to his friends. Every day at 10 a.m., his team had a meeting. They stood in a circle and talked about their work. Arjun's heart would beat very fast like a drum. He would practice one simple sentence in his head for 10 minutes. He wanted to say, "I finished the project yesterday," but he worried about the word finished. He thought, "Is the ed sound like a T or a D?" By the time he decided, the meeting was over. His boss was a kind woman named Sarah. She knew Arjun was a very hard worker. One day, Sarah called Arjun into her small, quiet office. She looked at him with a serious face. "Arjun, I have a big promotion for a new manager," she said. "You are the smartest worker I have." "But a manager must talk to the team and the customers," Sarah continued. "You never speak in our meetings." "If you do not speak, I must give the job to Mark," she said. Mark was not as smart as Arjun, but he spoke very loudly. Arjun walked back to his desk and felt like he wanted to cry. He felt like he was invisible. He went home that night and sat by his window. He watched the rain fall on the street. He asked himself, "Will I stay in this silent prison forever?" He decided that he had to change. The next day, Arjun went to a store and bought a small mirror. He put it on his kitchen table. He looked at his face and said, "Hello, my name is Arjun." He said it 10 times. He watched how his lips moved and how his teeth touched his lip. He was training his mouth like a runner trains their legs. He stopped watching the news because it was too difficult. He started watching cartoons for small children. He watched a show about a pig and a sheep. They used simple words and they spoke very slowly. Arjun would repeat every word the character said. If the pig said, "It is a sunny day," Arjun said, "It is a sunny day." He realized that English was not just about words. It was about the rhythm and the music of the voice. He also bought a small red notebook to carry in his pocket. He wrote "My Brave Book" on the front. He made a rule: I must make 5 mistakes every day. Most people hate mistakes, but Arjun wanted them. He knew that a mistake meant he was trying to speak. If his notebook was empty, he was failing. On Monday, he went to the office coffee machine. He saw a man named Tom. Usually, Arjun would look at his phone and walk away. Today, he stayed and looked at Tom. "Hi Tom, is the coffee hot?" Arjun asked slowly. His heart was pounding. Tom smiled and said, "Yes, it's very hot today. How are you, Arjun?" Arjun felt a surge of happiness. He had used his voice to connect with another human. On Wednesday, he was in the team meeting again. Sarah asked a question about the server. Arjun didn't wait for his heart to stop beating. He raised his hand. "I think the server is too old," he said. The room went very quiet. Nobody laughed at him. Nobody told him his grammar was bad. Sarah smiled and said, "I think you are right, Arjun. Thank you." 6 weeks passed, and Arjun's red notebook was full of mistakes. He had hundreds of points in his Brave book. One Friday afternoon, a huge problem happened at the office. The main computer system stopped working. The company was losing thousands of dollars every minute. Everyone was running and shouting. Mark was trying to fix it, but he was making it worse. Sarah looked very worried and stressed. Arjun looked at the code on the big screen. He saw the mistake immediately. He didn't feel afraid anymore. He stood up on his chair and clapped his hands. "Everyone, please." The whole office stopped moving. Arjun spoke clearly. He used simple words so everyone could understand him. "Mark, go to the left. Sarah, call the bank. I will fix the main gate," he ordered. He led the team for 1 hour. He didn't think about his accent at all. He only thought about the problem and the solution. His English was a tool, like a hammer. When the computer turned back on, the whole office cheered. People came to Arjun and shook his hand. "You are a hero, Arjun," Tom said. Arjun felt taller and stronger than ever before. On Monday, Sarah called Arjun back into her office. This time, she was holding a new badge. The badge said, "Arjun, Technical Manager." She pinned it to his shirt. "You found your voice, Arjun," she said. "And it is a very powerful voice." Arjun went home and looked in his mirror. He didn't see a silent man anymore. He saw a man who was brave enough to be imperfect. He saw a man who was finally free. He realized that fluency is not a destination. It is the courage to keep walking. Now, Arjun helps other people who are afraid to speak. He tells them, "Don't be perfect. Just be you." His life is no longer a silent movie. It is a beautiful story full of sound and joy. Arjun started a blog to write about his journey. He shared his brave book with the world. Thousands of people read his words every day. They were also afraid to speak. He told them that English is like a sport. You must practice every day to get better. He started a small class in his office. He taught his friends how to be brave. He told them to sing songs in the shower. He told them to talk to their pets in English. He laughed when he made a mistake now. It was no longer a scary thing. His boss, Sarah, was very proud of him. She saw the office become a happier place. Arjun's mother called him from his home country. He told her about his big promotion. She cried because she was so happy. She knew how hard he worked. Arjun began to dream in English for the first time. He woke up with a smile on his face. He realized that he was not just learning words, he was learning a new way to live. He bought a ticket to visit America for a vacation. He wanted to talk to new people. He sat on the airplane and talked to the person next to him. They talked about books and food. He didn't check his phone for a dictionary. He just enjoyed the conversation. When he arrived in New York, he felt amazing. He felt like a citizen of the world. He visited the Statue of Liberty and took a photo. He thought about how far he had come. He remembered the days when he was afraid to say hello. Now he could talk to anyone. Arjun returned to London with many new stories. He was a leader, a teacher, and a friend. He knew that his journey would never truly end. There were always new words to learn. But he was no longer a prisoner of silence. He was the master of his own voice.